What's going on, tubes? It's been a long time. Um, been a lot of shit going on that I just ain't had time to do no video at all, period. And I'm only doing it one a day just so everybody knows what's going on. Well, obviously, you see the license plates back here. That's all 50 states, and you're probably wondering, okay, well, why is there one extra? Well, right there. There. um, as many know, Washington, D.C. isn't technically a state. And so, needless to say, that Washington, D.C. is kind of like I guess you would call it a province. I'm not sure. But anyway, got all the plates for the U.S. and was going to wait till after the holidays to start back. Um, Obviously, it's turned off cold and time has changed. So that's also been an issue too, as far as me being able to get outside and not be too cold trying to sit out here and record something. And then too, being in the dark, 5:30 I get off work and it's already dark outside. And I haven't really had anything in here going on as far as inside the shop is concerned. However, if you see right there, I did get a bagger set up for the lawnmower, and here's the thing with that. So you're talking like a $400 setup, well, $400+ setup, and I found it on Craigslist. The guy wanted $100 for it, and it was a complete setup: tubes, bags, the carrier, tank. Well, the lid is what I call the tank, as it is. So he comes over here because I told him, I said, there's no way that I can get the mower to you to do a trial fit, and it would just be easy for you to bring all the stuff here and do it. So we set everything up, and I tried it and I liked it. And the tube, it's supposed to be a 2-piece, and whomever cut it in half. And when they cut it in half, obviously they made it into a 3-piece. And it hasn't really caused any malfunction to anything or whatever. It's just shortened the tube itself a little bit. But and I know that sounds funny, being that it say shortened. I'd have to pull it all apart and show you guys, but I don't have time to do it today. Last but not least, other than it being cold, other than it getting dark very soon, which it's starting to get dark now. It is approximately around 4:30ish, somewhere in there. And obviously it's Saturday. But back to the bagger setup or whatever, it does good. It gets up what it needs to get up. Sometimes it gets too much in it and it clogs the tube up, and I have to take everything apart and get the clog out. Well, the guy wanted $100 for it. And being that the tube had been cut, and it's supposed to have these rubber straps. Well, it didn't come with any of the rubber straps. So I offered him $80 for it, and he took it. So $80 for a $400 setup, that's not really hurt. I haven't had to buy any parts for it. Why not? And the thing about it is I wanted to get a sweeper to sweep up a lot of the pine straw and leaves and stuff like that, but this does just as damn good, if not better. Now when I get that big oak in the front yard there, and it just trashes the front yard with leaves. I spent probably, I know, every bit of 2 hours alone just getting most of the leaves up. Not so much so with as far as using the machine, but I took the blower and I blew everything out away from the house and got into the front flower beds and blew all them out. But yeah, I mean that's that, and it's doing good, so I can't complain. The truck. Well, most of you know that I'd had the ball joints replaced some time back. And most of you knew that the truck had basically a 2-inch backyard lift. And when I say backyard, I mean as in the front had the torsion bars turned up and the rear had a 2-inch block put in it. Nothing fancy. Okay, no big deal. Well, the ball joints got put in because obviously they never had been replaced because they were the factory ones. The factory ones on these trucks have rivets. Have the upper ball joint has 3 rivets and a bolt, and you have to go through a little bit of work to get those rivets out. And you put the new ones in, they bolt right in thereafter. And I mean, you press them in, press them out, but you still have to undo the bolts or whatever. But anyway. Most of you knew that I've complained very much about how the roads around here are crappy, and I have to travel one of those crappy roads sometimes in order to get to work. Well, over a period of time, I started hearing this clanking noise again. So I came home one afternoon and I turned the wheel to the left and looked under there, and sure enough, the rubber boot is already busted on the driver's side for the upper ball joint. Pretty much meaning, and I don't really have an example to show you guys, but I mean, most of you know that the ball joint will say this is the ball joint, and then the control arm sits on top of it, and by factory it sits pretty flat. Well, if you put any kind of a raise, lift on it or whatever, it's going to pick the control arm up, but in return it's pushing down on the ball joint. And as it's pushing it down, it's actually putting pressure against it. And needless to say, it just wrecked that one. I mean, it's still in the truck right now, but what I ended up having to do was actually lower the front end down like a 1/2 inch, and it gave me much more of a comfortable ride. It's not pulling as hard as it used to, which I should have gotten aligned after I did it, but I mean, I knew the truck needed more front end work anyway. It needs new tie rods, which I still have yet to replace. And it all becomes, it becomes lack of funds. And, I mean, I have bills to pay and shit to pay for and life to live. And, living paycheck to paycheck sucks. But, you have to sit back and assert yourself when it comes to certain things. And of course, you need a vehicle to drive, obviously, to get from point A to point B. Tie rods weren't that bad, as long as they don't bust. As far as break or whatever, I'm okay. However, in the next, probably not this week, not next week, but the week after, if all goes as planned, I'm going to try to have the parts and get the one ball joint replaced, which reminds me I need to come over here and I need to look for a receipt for said ball joint. And I'm going to get my buddy down the road that I work with or whatever to put everything in, put new tie rods in and a new ball joint in, and shortly after, go take and get it aligned. Then shortly after that, go and get the tires put on, because the tires are still sitting in the house, and the truck needs to be aligned, and everything will fall into place eventually. Now, with that being all that being said, I did get the job where I work at eventually. It did not come with a raise as of yet. I'm still at $9 an hour. I'm still working the 40 hours a week, which, either one I'm not too thrilled about, because I thought maybe that I would have gotten the extra 5 hours and or a raise, which I'm not saying that after 90 days that I won't get either or, but it would, it would be nice to get something. I had to pay up to $150 in order to get my uniforms. As of next Friday, I will have them paid for, but however, they will be ordered by Tuesday. And I tell you guys these things because obviously some of you have been following me now for quite some time, and you either liked that I express, real life problems, and kind of understand where people are coming from when they say, hey, this is what I'm living in, this is how I live, this is what I do, what have you. Well, this is my life. And as far as the YouTube channel I have, for the newcomers that don't understand quite what's going on and quite what the thing is, majority of my videos I do express topics. I try to come up with things that are informative. I try to teach people certain stuff. Primarily the channel was created because it was going to be more so about my truck than anything. But until funds increase or hours increase to create more funds, there's not many videos about the truck. I mean, what's on the channel is what's on the channel. And or expressing as far as the channel name is concerned, I have thought about possibly changing the name to something different. I don't know. All that's still thoughts, But more so, I'm still here, still trying to get ahead, or at least be comfortable anyway. And I'm working at it every day as hard as I can go, doing the best I can. But as far as the newcomers that have came to the channel and have subscribed, I was going to conduct some sort of a giveaway, but it kind of fell through. So we have postponed that until a further date. It's just how it goes sometimes. But anyways, just figured I'd give you guys a shout out and say, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's up. There probably won't be, I can honestly say that there probably won't be any videos till way after Christmas. So, if you haven't, if you've kind of wondered where I've been and what I've been doing and what's going on or whatever, I suggest you watch this video. And, at least listen anyway. I mean, not many people want to look at this mug of mine. But anyways, that's pretty much about it. That's all I've got. That's all I can really say. For those of you that, really don't celebrate Christmas, all I can say is happy holidays. That's pretty much all I got left to say about anything, honestly. Well, I'm just rambling on now, so you guys have a good one, and we'll catch you on the flip side.